Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now July 7th of 2022, and over 2 weeks ago, we got the season finale of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series that a lot of Star Wars fans were very critical over, having a lot of problems from episodes 1 through, 6 thoroughly. A lot of fans had issues with the development of some of the characters thrown in there, like Reva, and of course the Inquisitors and how they had a lack of screen time. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the Disney Star Wars universe is that there are a lot of things happening right now between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, and really how they're trying to turn things around for the Star Wars universe. We have Jon working on Mando 3 and 4 back to back, which by the way is very impressive. That's going to take a lot of work on his end. And we also have Dave Filoni, really trying his absolute best with the Ahsoka Tano TV series to really give fans, something very exciting to look forward to. That series, by the way, is basically said to be like a continuation of Star Wars Rebels Season 4, except in live action form. Now, moving forward from all of this, what's really exciting has a lot to do with creator Jon Favreau. Now, we already know that Jon Favreau is a very passionate creator, somebody that really loves the Star Wars fans, the community, the overall franchise. I mean, Jon Favreau just really deep down cares about what Star Wars stands for and exactly the vision of George Lucas and exactly where that's going moving ahead right now. Now, on top of all of this, what's even all the more intriguing has a lot to do with what's going on behind the scenes for, of course, the Kenobi TV series, and specifically the revision of the Kenobi TV show. We'll get into that in just a second. Now, on top of this, what's really intriguing is that with Jon Favreau currently working on The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, he is also working on a host of other Star Wars TV shows and projects that will be announced later this year. Further, it's noted that recently Favreau was approached by Disney executives and Bob Chapek on resetting and fixing the season finale of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, as well as episode 5 of the show that features the Clone Wars flashbacks, where Disney will be allowing other creators and Favreau to give fans an extended cut of the Kenobi series that will include tons of more footage in those 2 episodes. On top of that, it's noted that this is a plan by Disney to fix the last 2 episodes of the Kenobi series, where Favreau will be leading this project that is set to be updated on Disney Plus sometime in 2023. Now, currently Favreau is set to not only introduce the third battle between Kenobi and Vader that was cut from by Kathleen Kennedy, but that also he will be fixing episode 5 and 6 to great lengths. The reason behind this and allowing Jon to hop on board has to do with the fact that Favreau is now going to be a part of Kenobi Season 2 with Filoni and others that's also in the works. And so Bob Chapek is allowing Favreau to make some major adjustments with the Kenobi series. Now, Lucasfilm is actively allowing Favreau to update the musical scores of the show by allowing the revised Duel of the Fates theme to make its way into the final fight between Vader and Kenobi. Many of Reva's scenes are also going to be revised as well throughout the series. It's described that Disney is not hiding the fact that there are problems with the Kenobi show, and they are hiring creators like Favreau to make some big-time adjustments when they have free time in between shows like Mando 3 and 4, as well as Ahsoka. Now, the thing about this, before we get on to the more exciting stuff, is that obviously, this has a lot to do with the fact that Favreau is going to be involved with Kenobi Season 2, and why they're allowing him to really, kind of get involved with the revision of Season 1 of the Kenobi series. Now, at the end of the day, is this really necessary? Maybe, maybe not. In my point of view, I don't know if they should really spend their time focusing on Season 1. It may even be a bit more productive to just put all of their time and energy into this new season of Kenobi and just do better. Which, by the way, they are going to do that, and we talked about that a couple of days ago, and we'll get into that in a little bit later as well. But everything related to what Favreau and Filoni, as well as other creators like Peyton Reed, are about to do, and how they are going to be involved in this, what I like to call as the Kenobi-verse, is that Season 1's revision, alright, it may very well be beneficial to Season 2, because it is going to essentially give fans a different pacing of the series with all of the deleted scenes coming back, as well as, you know, giving fans new scores, new editing styles, as well as fixes to the CGI and more. So, this show was rushed. You know, it was filmed in as little as 2 months and change, almost 3 months. And that's, you know, the main reason as to why, you know, it really came off as sloppy sometimes. Now, moving forward from that, additionally, Favreau is also set to lead the editing team to de-age Hayden properly for his Clone Wars era and Order 66 flashback scenes, and that the pacing of the entire story is planned to be revised carefully to give fans a different version of the story that will have better pacing and flow. Now, additionally, Favreau is also set to allow all of the deleted scenes to appear in the Kenobi series revision, including the other scenes of Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi that was also drastically cut down by Kathleen Kennedy. Let's not forget that that was also another big deal for the Kenobi series, is that we were supposed to get 5 minutes of Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost talking to Kenobi, and that was drastically shaved down, and all we got was a mere, 40 seconds? Maybe 39 seconds? Something like that. And, you know, yes, he did deliver a couple of powerful pieces of dialogue, and yes, it was very emotional, but I always felt that Kenobi was just not all that enthusiastic of seeing Qui-Gon, seeing a Force Ghost for the very first time. So, that was just my little nitpick at that point in time. So, on top of this, and to make sure that he can actually give fans a better take on that character through using some of the deleted scenes, of course, of Reva also, for the Kenobi series. This is something that is described that will be very tedious and a side project for Favreau to work on with his new editing team that Disney also hired for all the new Star Wars TV shows, including the Kenobi revision, before they begin work on Season 2. Now, Chapek is trying to make it up to the fans and how the series was essentially rushed through production, which allowed tons of footage to go unused. So keep that in mind, is that there is a new editing team that is now a part of Lucasfilm that will be helping out with all of these new Star Wars shows, including Kenobi Season 1's revision, as well as Season 2. Which is good news, because I thought that the editing was very flawed in the Kenobi series. It was probably the worst edited Star Wars TV show that I have seen so far. If you guys actually pay attention, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But obviously, you know, Favreau getting involved in all of this really do mean a lot to the fans. It really does. Because, let's face it, a lot of fans love Star Wars, they're very passionate about it, and they just want George Lucas's vision, and they just want a story done by a passionate creator, you know. Deborah Chow and Joby Harold sadly just did not get it. And the original writer, Stuart Beattie, absolutely knew what fans wanted to see. I mean, Stuart Beattie was really on his A-game with the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie trilogy, and once that fell apart and they got Joby Harold on board for the show, that's where things obviously went sour. So obviously, you know, let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.